It's a bit pokey.
For the past year, Joanna and Henry Clough have called their friend's tiny spare room home.
Yeah.
Bit squishy, but we'll make it do.
Yeah.
Soon they'll need to squeeze another person in.
Baby's due on the 23rd of October this year, so not far away now.
Yeah, very exciting. Our housemate's really amazing.
But obviously it'd be nice to have our own home.
Joanna and Henry join a growing list of casualties from a cascade of builder collapses post-COVID. Last financial year, a staggering 2,977 companies in the construction sector became insolvent. Adelaide Designer Homes is one of 601 firms to have hit the wall since July.
Insolvencies in the construction sector are at historic highs, and it's caused by a number of factors coming together all at once.
Adelaide Designer Homes succumbed to rising costs. Instead, they've been left with a half-finished headache.
All the internal fixtures are left to do, so there's no electrical wiring, there's no plumbing done throughout the house, there's no gyprock on the walls, it's a bare bones house inside.
Adelaide Designer Homes was placed into liquidation last month, leaving theirs and about 20 other homes unfinished. And to rising costs. Insolvency practitioner John Winter says the Morrison government's home builder grant offered during COVID led to a massive housing boom. But as the cost of building materials has gone up, construction companies often locked into fixed price contracts have come unstuck.
What's been happening is that erosion of their profit margin has been so large that they've ended up running each of their jobs at a loss. And there's only so long you can sustain that for before you end up being insolvent. And that's what's been characterising the market of late.
Since COVID's come about, we've definitely tightened the belt.
Hi, Kim.
Hey mate, how are you?
Yeah, good mate. We just had an urgent call up from one of the builders for a second fix, so...
Ralph Sabaski runs Adelaide business Star Electrical. He's feeling the pain of rising costs and staff shortages.
All our materials have just skyrocketed. Cable, in regards to copper, was probably the worst, which went up by about 70%, and that was over increments. PowerPoint switches, clips, everything that goes in the job also went up by at least 50%. And unfortunately, nothing's come down.
Not only is Ralph struggling with the high cost of doing business, he's owed $80,000 by collapsed firm Adelaide Designer Homes. It's the 7th builder he's been contracted to, which has gone bust over the past 15 years. The home building industry crisis comes at a time of growing demand. The federal government has set a target of building 1.2 million new homes over the next 5 years.
When you've got such a lofty goal of building so many new properties, it's going to be hard to meet that when there isn't the capacity in the market. That risks forcing prices up.
Economists predict the government will fall 260,000 homes short of the target. The New South Wales Productivity Commission says public infrastructure projects are taking sorely needed tradies from the housing sector. In South Australia, Ralph Sabaski says it's a similar situation.
Unfortunately, a lot of the A-class electricians are always asking for more and more money, and they go off to another job that's obviously offering more money.
Welcome to
Claire O'Neill, welcome back to 7:30.
Great to be with you, Laura.
This is your first 7:30 interview since taking over the housing portfolio. Before we get into the situation in the Senate or your announcements today, can you give us a picture of the state of the housing construction industry that you've inherited and what you see the supply problems to be? And we might talk a little bit about some of the problems that have been discussed in that story we've just been watching.
We have a housing crisis that's been a generation in the making. For decades, our country has not been building enough homes. So our government is the first in many years to say that the Commonwealth has got a real role in this discussion. We've stepped into housing and said that we're going to take some responsibility for this problem. We've sat down with the states and said we've got to build more homes. So we've set this long-term target over 5 years of building 1.2 million homes. We also